This is Soul Chronicles, and I'm your host, C. Boyd Motley. What if I told you you only have 3 months to live? How would you respond to that? What would you do in the initial moments? Let me see if I can jump into your head by using my own thought process. I would get everything I want to get in order. I would start doing things that I want to do. I'd be traveling, I'd be experiencing things. I would find ways to maximize the time I had left. And I'm sure many of you share that same sentiment. Now, my question or follow up question, I guess, from the first question is why does it take an existential event to get your life in focus? Why does it take hearing that you only have X amount of days left on this planet for you to somehow realize what matters in your life? Hmm? Think about that. We should be operating every day, not necessarily as if it's our last. I don't want to be morbid, but let me say we should be operating in a mindset that tomorrow isn't promised. And whatever I need to be doing, I need to do the best I can today. Focusing on what's going to happen in the future when you don't even know if you're going to be there to experience it is a waste of time. Not saying you can't plan for things, but what I'm simply saying is in your mind, in your daily goings on, you have to remember that when you take rain checks on things, you may not be able to cash those checks in. I think we often get comfortable in our lives so that we feel like, oh, tomorrow will come and I'll get it done then, or I'll get that done then. Every morning I wake up and the first thing I say, I thank God for another day to be better than I was yesterday. I am grateful for every set of 24 hours I am given because a lot of folks didn't open their eyes today. And to be one of the ones that did is a blessing in and of itself. And I think that we all too often take that for granted. We forget that everything that we are accustomed to and normal and feel as our everyday could be gone like that. And by reminding myself of this every day and of being grateful for everything that I have, because I don't have to have any of this. I could be worse off than I am now. So having gratitude, being appreciative of every day that's given to you is what keeps me grounded, keeps me centered and focused on achieving my greatness. And what I'm suggesting is that you do the same if your goal is to be the best version of yourself. Getting comfortable in our lives and pushing things off to the next day, for to me, it's like looking for perfection. You're waiting for the right moment, the right time, the right circumstances, and for yourself to be a certain way before you can do whatever that is. Oh, I don't have time for that today. But you have time for social media. Hmm? You make time. It's not about having it. You have to make time. If nothing else, I need you to walk away from this podcast and start to think about your life and make some decisions about what's really important to you. What's your priority? And sometimes they don't always align with what you thought they were. But at the end of the day, you have to know that every move you're making is for your betterment, is to to get your life progressing forward. You do not want to be caught up in stagnation. Trust me, I've been there. I know what that feels like. It's a terrible place just to be stuck in analysis paralysis. Doing this podcast, quite honestly, is as close to me shooting from the hip as it's going to get. Everything that I say out on this show is not going to be politically correct. Every thought that I share is not going to necessarily be coherent. I'm going to say some things you'll be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" It's going to happen, but this is part of the journey. This is part of my greatness is going to be achieved by me being authentic and sharing that, pouring that into you so that you can be better. As we go along this journey and I continue with more conversation, you're going to find that there are some bumps in the road that I've hit that I'm hoping that you can avoid. So I don't mind being that guinea pig if that means it can help you avoid drama down the road. I mean, that's the whole point of this podcast in the first place is that we want to deep dive into conversations about things that we face every day, struggles, our own disbelief in ourselves, our own self-images, how we remove about the world, how we think the world sees us versus how we really are seen. These are things that I think that we face together and talk them out. We might be surprised by some of the answers we come up with. So make sure that you, again, take time to figure out what matters to you. Don't wait for tomorrow to come because tomorrow may never come. You have to do some things today. You have to move before you're ready. I harp on that a lot. I've achieved so many things in my life as of late because I've moved when I wasn't ready. I spent over a year and a half, probably 2 years, close to deciding whether or not I was going to be a content creator. I was waiting for those moments or that moment when I'd be ready. I was waiting for perfection to hit me in the face, but I was never ready. I just had to close my eyes and jump off that cliff and grow wings on the way down. And I'm believing that you are in the same position that I am. That's why you're here. That's why you're listening to this podcast, because you're trying to understand what it takes to be your best self and how to get there. I think we can figure that out together. This is Soul Chronicles.